Hello and welcome to Cinnabar Collectibles, and today we're going to be looking at the Dragapult EX League Battle Deck. Now this was delayed in the UK and I had to wait till the middle of May for it to arrive, and then I lost my voice, but we finally get to crack into this deck and see what all the fuss is about. Now Dragapult EX is currently one of the top tier meta decks, so this is a great opportunity for anybody who has been thinking about picking up the game. If you grab this deck, you'll be able to pick up some very easy wins on Pokémon TCG Live. Pokémon Live is an app either you can use on your phone or on your computer, so you can get straight into the game and try out playing some Pokémon against some real players. Make sure you stay tuned into this video because I'll also be telling you which cards you can add to make this deck unstoppable in the TCG. So anyway, let's crack straight into this Battle League deck and see what cards come inside. So with this deck you get a burn and poison marker, a lot of plastic again on the back. Ooh, get some nice purple dice, let's have a look at those. So we've got a nice kind of, I suppose not green dice, but I like the gold on those purple dice. Might be chucking them into my TCG bag so I can take them when I go and play in person. This deck box here, that has all of the cards in it to come with the deck, but for now, so here are the cards that we're all waiting for. We get 4 Dragapult EXs in here, the Expect Unfair stamp, and 1 copy of Serendipity EX. Now, the Dragapult alone are probably about £12, and the Fez is about £10 on his own. So already you've got about £22 just for those, and an Unfair stamp, which again, you could probably pick up for about £2. This whole deck cost me 26 quid, so already we've got most of the value in just these 6 cards here. So let's take a closer look at these EX cards. So we've got the Dragapults here, and then we have the Unfair stamp, which means that if one of your Pokemon got knocked out during last turn, your opponent and yourself have to shuffle your hands back into your deck. Your opponent only gets 2 cards though, and you get 5, which is a fantastic way to disrupt your opponent's hand, especially if they've got quite a large hand size and they've got no way of sort of drawing back up their hand. It's a great way to absolutely just to wreck their momentum. Now here we have Serendipity EX. I have heard that this is a different copy from the one actually from Shrouded Fable. It says Shrouded Fable on the bottom, it's the same number, however, and I've got my Serendipity here. Let's see if we can see. Now, yeah, this one, I don't know if you can tell, but it's got stars. I'll have to pull it out for you. It's got stars in the hollow foil. Can you see that? So if I do that, it's got... So this is the one from Shrouded Fable, from just pulling from a pack. And this is the one from the Dragapult EX deck. And yeah, that's not got the stars on. So that is actually a different copy of Fez. Very interesting. Exactly the same codes, same rarity, but just printed slightly differently. That's very interesting. So I'll put that one there. I'm going to put this Fez back away to add it back to my deck. Now what makes Dragapult EX so deadly is his Phantom Dive attack. Just 200 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon, but then what you also get to do is take 6 damage counters and put them on your opponent's bench Pokemon in any way you like, which means that Dragapult doesn't really want to be taking knockouts early game. He actually wants to stack a load of damage onto your opponent's bench Pokemon so you can take big prize knockouts, so you can take 4, 5 or even 6 prizes all at once by taking out not just the active but also the things on the bench. If they've got a Fez, if you can do 200 damage to that, bosses orders it out into something else, you can then knock it out by adding just 1 damage counter to it, because Fez only has 210 HP, and there's the one from this Battle League deck. And these are not quite, I was hoping they'd all be in order, but looks like we're out of order here, so we should have 4 of the Dracloaks. Got some energy. Got the Buddy Poffin. Got the Natu. Now I won't lie, the Natu probably won't be staying in this deck. You'll be pulling those out. Tatsuguri, useful card, but just not one that usually shows up in Dragapult. Iono, very useful card that will be staying in here. Ultra Ball, you get your Arthens, very hard to get support and quite expensive actually on his own. Dreepy, you'll have 4 copies of those. We've got some Psychic Energy. The Zatu, now this is a really good ability. It lets you attach 1 Psychic Energy from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon, and then you get to draw 2 cards, which is a really good draw engine. But again, not really used in Dragapult because Dragapult's got Dracloak doing that. We've got, also comes with an Earthen Vessel, so we can discard one of our cards to draw 2 energy cards. 1 rescue board, that'll be staying in this deck as well. it reduces the retreat cost of your Pokemon by 1, which is really handy because Dragapult EX, who I've hidden down here, who I should have really sleeved up, his retreat cost is 1, which means that he gets to retreat for free, which is really useful for getting him out of the way. We've got Boss's Orders, we've got Rare Candy, we've got another copy of Arven, got some more Psychic Energies, Professor Chursanaro, which is very useful because that means you get to take one of your Pokemon in play, put it into your hand to make sure your opponent can't knock out any of your Dragapult EXs. We've also got the very useful Fire Energy for this deck, so Dragapult can use his ability, more buddies, an Ultra Ball, a Counter Catcher, which you can use if you're behind on prizes, which Dragapult mostly is. You then get to swap your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot, and you get to choose, so you can take some more knockouts. We've got Dreepy, we've got the Technical Machine Devolution, very useful. You get to devolve each of your opponent's evolved Pokemon by putting the highest stage evolution card into their hand, which is another great way to take some knockouts with this deck. Got Fire Energy, got another Iono, and Technical Machine Evolution, which lets you evolve 2 Pokemon, and even if they've been put down that turn, you can evolve them. Another Buddy Puffin. We've got a Switch, got another Dracloak, got another Psychic Energy. We've got a Super Rod, so you can get your combination of energy and Pokemon back into your deck. Another Iono to cause some more disruption. Another Ultra Ball. A Psychic Energy. Another Tatsugiri. Oh, there's quite a few Tatsugiri going on in here. Another Dracloak. And Mailer. Now, you probably won't be keeping Mailer in this deck. This one will probably be coming out for one of our other supporters. We've got Rescue Board. Got a Fire Energy. Again, another Xatu who will be leaving this deck. We've got a Dreepy. A Rare Candy. We've got a Natu, which will be coming out this deck. Got a Fire Energy. Another Natu who will be coming out. Another Arven. Earthen Vessel. A Dreepy. A Xatu that will be coming out, and quite a few of them as well. An Ultra Ball. A Psychic Energy. And a Dracloak, so very nice. So let's talk about some of the cards now that you can add to improve this deck. First of all, we've got Supporter Jacques, who lets us search our deck for up to 2 evolution Pokemon, reveal them, and put them into our hand, which is a great way to get into our Dracloak's early game, so we can use its Recon Directive ability to draw 2 cards. We look at both, we then choose our favourite, put that in our hand, and the other one goes to the bottom of our deck. The most important card of all, you'll be wanting to run at least 2 copies of Budew, with that amazing Itchy Pollen attack. Now this, in Dragapult, is deadly, because Itchy Pollen means that your opponent can't use item cards for their next turn, and Budew is a great way of letting Dragapult buy some turns. So you're doing 10 damage, you're then locking your opponent out of using items for the turn, which slows your opponent down and gives you more time to get into your Dracloaks and build up your hand to get into your Dragapults. Then you'll be wanting to run 1 Luxurious Cape. Now this gives one of your Pokemon plus 100 HP. This actually strangely works quite well with Budew. You then take them up to 130 because quite often, especially if you're going to get a mirror match, you'll end up Budew versus Budew, which means that your Budew will survive longer than theirs, which means that you get to keep item locking them even if they're item locking you. So because theirs only have 30 HP, they get to do it 3 times. You'll then knock out theirs and keep item locking them. So there's 3. Now, in my opinion, these next 3 cards are incredibly important in this deck. You can use Duskull, Dusclops, and Dusknoir. Now, it's these 2 here and their abilities which are so vital. Curse Blast lets you blow these up, your opponent gets a prize, but then if it's Dusclops, you get to add 5 damage counters to their Pokemon, to just one of their Pokemon. If it's Dusknoir, you get to add 13 damage counters to one of their Pokemon. Now these 2 are a great way of letting Dragapult get 1-hit KOs. If a Charizard's got 330 HP, Dusknoir blows himself up, puts 13 damage counters on Charizard, then Dragapult can finish him off with 200. Or, again, you can put their damage counters on their bench Pokemon and have Dragapult take them out with just applying the 6 damage counters. To me, these are incredibly important, and you'll find them in a lot of the meta decks currently that are in the top 10 in the world. Now, I've been talking to some people and they've been saying that maybe this Dusknoir Dusclops line is actually slowing down the deck and causing it to brick a bit more. In my opinion, there's still a place for these guys, but I completely see what they what they're talking about, because with these you might not be drawing into Dreepies, or you might be not getting into Badoo. There's just more, because usually you'll be running 2 copies of each, which is then 6 spaces in your deck. So it does mean that you kind of miss your Dracloaks maybe when you need them. So I can see their argument, but for me, I think they've still got a very vital place in this deck, just to allow you so much consistency with how you can take the prizes. You can take prizes when you want, and if you're blowing them up and your opponent then is ahead on prizes, well, you can now use your counter catchers, and you don't have to rely on your boss's orders, and you can use different supporters like your Jacques to get your Dracloaks, or you can use your Arven to get into a luxurious cape or a rescue board, as well as getting an item. So they're incredibly important in my opinion, but I completely see where people are talking about how they might just be actually kind of causing this deck to brick a bit more. But I will let you decide and have a play. I think that's the beautiful thing about Pokemon, is we all find our own way of playing the decks, and everybody can have their own favourite deck and their own favourite way of playing it. I think that's brilliant. The next card you will find incredibly useful in this deck is Howlucha, and I can't find my copy of Howlucha, but this one again allows you to put damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon, adding to Dragapult's then deadly ability of being able to spread that damage around. And finally is Blood Moon Ursaluna, and he's a great late game card because as your opponent takes prizes, the cost of his attack gets reduced by 1 energy, meaning he's a great last minute sweeper. You bring him in the last minute to take the final KO to get you the win. So that has been our unboxing video. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. If you have, don't forget to leave a comment, a like and subscribe. I'm going to be building a Dragapult EX deck for TCG Live, and I'll be trying to run through some games with it, just like I've been doing with Charizard. The next video for that will be coming up this week as well in our Road to Rank series. Although because I've had a bad voice, unfortunately I've fallen a bit behind there, so I might probably not get to Arceus rank this time, but next time, let's hope so. But thanks again for watching, hope you enjoyed Cinnabar Collectibles, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you and good night.